Edward Munch.
Everything was based on like almost a horror movie copy of the Scream. Yeah. At least a dozen paintings that they looked.
And this is Dave Preston.
Dave Preston.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So was he going through a psychological sort of mental breakdown or something?
No, not at all. Dave was. I always said he looked like an Indian, and I was good friends with him for years and years.
Yeah.
And he was a very, very clever man, very clever.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it was something. He was as if something was missing in his life. He always wanted to try something new. And he went go-kart racing. He bought himself a go-kart. And I always got the impression he thought that the more money he earned, the happier he would become. But it doesn't quite work out that way. It never did for any of us.
No.
You make a bit of money, but you're not happier because you still want to make a little bit more.
More like, yeah. Yeah.
I was friends with Dave for many, many years. Went out with him many, many times.
Yeah. I seen he was on Facebook not long ago, and there was like a little video of him, and as I said, he I've never met the guy, but obviously he's a very intelligent guy to have
extremely intelligent.
To build up his Preston, and he sponsors some really good anglers. But it's like Drennan, a bit like Drennan, I suppose.
Well,
did you ever know Peter Drennan?
Yes, I knew Peter quite well.
Yeah.
I first met Dave Preston at an Angling Trades Association meeting at Coventry.
Yeah.
And nobody had ever heard of him. I walked in. And, all these wonderful displays, your Shimano, Daiwas, Shakespeare's. And as we went through the door, there was a little folding table and 4 pieces of plastic on it. And I was with Neil Higginson at the time. And we spoke to the guy. I said, well, what on earth are these things? And they were plastic feet for the old octopus box.
I know, yeah, I remember.
Because the octopus box sunk into the mud.
Yeah.
So he made these plastic feet to sit on top of the mud of the soft earth, you see.
Right, okay.
Stop the sinking in. And that was his first venture into fishing tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was first. And then a month or 2 later, I saw reviewing Angling Times for someone who'd made these PTFE bushes for the tips of poles. Well, nobody did them commercially.
Right.
We all made our own at the time. And Dave moved on from those. And
So is that how he started his business then? That he was on feet, or was it?
he started on 4 little plastic feet
Bloody hell.
moulded for the octopus.
Amazing.
Oh God, yeah, no silver spoon, Dave. He had the intelligence, which
Go on then.
I suppose that's a silver spoon, If you're smart, you got a head start.
Yeah.
And then, bit by bit, he built it up, and he asked for advice from very good anglers. Dave only ever sponsored very, very good anglers.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of his design work for him.
And there's ideas, yeah.
And he never let anything go out. A bit like Peter Drennan in a way. He never let anything imperfect go out. Okay, and by the time he actually produced it commercially and sold it, it couldn't be improved on. So bit by bit, people realised that if you bought a Preston product, it was the ultimate of its own particular genre, you see.
Well, even today, I mean, his products are good quality,
Well, he did sell out Ninja to the American firm.
Did he?
A few years ago, yeah, 7 million, but I don't think he could resist the attraction of the tackle trade. And from what I gather now, he's moved into fishing baits.
Oh, right, yeah. I know he's trying to promote this sort of paste or something, I don't know what it is.
Paste or pellets or whatever.
Yeah.
Whether it worked or not, I don't know, but I've known Dave for about 40 years, and I can't think of one single bad product he ever brought out. Everything was designed by top-class anglers then worked on, tested, and then manufactured. I mean, he turned down that whole range of rods. He turned it round once Andy Findlay had felt the original Preston efforts and described what he wanted. He turned them round within 8 days.
So was that Andy Findlay? Was he sort of a mainstay of Preston at the?
No,
at the beginning?
it was one occasion Andy was a friend of mine, and I know that people in the tackle truck now, fishermen who don't know anything whatsoever about sponsorship, do tend to get ripped off. You get a packet of dust shot and a pint of maggots and they call it sponsorship.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But Andy was too good for that, so I took him over to see Dave over at Telford, and I explained to him that you've got to get this guy quick, because if you don't, someone else will. And that's when we went through this range of rods that they were testing and almost ready to produce commercially. And Andy felt them all. I said, "I'm sorry, Bill, but they're crap," in his own particular way.
Yeah.
Dave said, "Okay, Ricky," who was his manager, "scrap them all, let's start again."
All right.
Which was Dave Preston. If a world-class angler suddenly tells you that the new range is scrap, you don't pursue it.
No.
So Andy spent 2 or 3 hours with Ricky Teal, going through each individual rod, bending it, flexing it.
Mickey Teal or Mickey?
Ricky
Ricky
Teal, who was Dave's manager at the time.
Yeah.
And once they're quite happy with what needed doing, we went back to China. Within 8 days, a whole new range was back.
Yeah.
So I took Andy along to Telford again, felt them all, and "Hey, these are all right, Bill," he said, "they're right now." And Dave gave the go-ahead to Ricky. They put in the order on the best range of feeder rods ever made. Came out the Preston factory.
Yeah, well,
Thanks to Andy Findlay. At that point, I got Dave to I got Dave to sign up as Andy as his sponsor.
Right. Okay.
And then from there, of course, the next thing that evolved was the flat feeder. You know the one. Andy invented that. Andy had a year or two down my legs, winning everything in sight with this flat feeder, and he showed it to Preston's. Designed it. Preston's produced it commercially. Now everybody fishes with them.
Yeah.
But that was another Andy Findlay invention.
Was it? Okay.
And Dave Preston capitalised on it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I did watch a video with Andy Findlay with Dave Hall, and he was showing how it worked and that, and it was quite interesting. I mean, a few years ago now, but everyone uses them now, don't they? Sort of.
Well,
is it a banjo feeder they call it, or something like that?
No idea. I just know Andy invented it, and
yeah.
he cleaned up down my legs. My God, he had more money than the Prime Minister for a 5-year spell. Quite amazing. Everybody copied it, but by the time they got it right, Andy had moved on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you were saying Andy's married a Thai lady as well.
Yeah.
But he's living in the UK at the moment, isn't he?
Yes, he's not far from Leicester, but he comes in the bar.
Oh, right, when he comes over, okay. When's he coming out? You said he's coming soon.
He can't wait to get out, but Thailand being Thailand, governed by Thai people, God knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, the bars are open until 11 o'clock from Monday, aren't they, from tomorrow?
Whoops.
Yeah. It's like, like the COVID is okay now until like 11.
Well, it also hovers over the pool table. You're not allowed to play pool, but I think you're okay playing snooker. You don't get COVID over a snooker table.
No, that's right. But you do over a pool.
From a business point of view, running a bar, it's been disastrous because high season is sort of late November, December, January.
You missed it.
We've lost all that. I mean, all the regulars in the bar, they've either gone home or they're going home.
Yeah, I know.
and they was fed up as anybody having to sort of go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But
It's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, because funny enough, I was talking to my brother last night about it, and he was saying that if somebody was coming over now who's never been to Thailand, they're going to look at it and think, well, there's nothing special about
No.
it. You know, obviously, if they come like a couple of years ago before COVID, then they wouldn't have gone back. But
Thailand patio in particular is famous for its girls, but
yeah,
you've also got to have the party life.
yeah.
You know, every night of the week,
Yeah.
within 100 yards of where you're staying, there will be a party of sorts.
There's something going on all the time.
People
isn't it?
ringing the bell, free food there, lots of drinks, probably 40, 50 girls who come and join in on the party, and it's party capital of the world,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
and all that's gone. You can't have
No,
parties at the moment.
I mean, the only good thing is it's nice and warm. It's like 30 degrees over here, where in the UK at the moment it's like -6, I was told yesterday.
Yeah.
You
can live without that.
Yeah.
You do acclimatise,
Yeah, you do, yeah.
and of course you have such things as air conditioning and fans, so
Yeah,
that's not a problem.
Yeah, I know the first week or two when I first come, I was like, can I stand this heat? But now, if I feel a breeze at all, I feel cold.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Tenerife for 10 years, which is a similar climate,
Yeah.
before I moved out here. So I didn't really need to acclimatise, you know.
No, you're already
was, you know.
acclimatised.
I never fished in Tenerife.
No, you didn't? No.
Yeah, the only thing I caught there was a scuba diver.
Okay.
I was spinning,
You caught a scuba diver.
and he hooked him in the legs.
Oh, fair dues.
Scuba diver. I didn't know you were swimming in my swim,
No,
did I?
that's
Heaven's
right.
sake.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever caught.
That's what he ever caught.
You
So,
put up a hell of a battle, though, you know.
but I mean, you've been over Thailand how many years now?
10 years now.
10 years, right. But it's really, I would say, only a couple of years ago that you started fishing again, really, because you didn't fish for it.
Yeah,
really.
well, this idiot here, Dennis, got me
He
into
got you
it.
into yeah.
And I've kind of lost interest again. I've not been through a good couple of years, really.
No.
And
Life's so
fishing,
short. Yeah.
I think in many ways, fishing's a bit like golf, you know. The important part is the 6 inches between your ears. And if that isn't functioning, it don't matter how good you are mechanically and physically.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking right, you're not going to do it right, you know.
I know. Yeah.
And my mind's never been on it for, for over a year now. And I've hardly fished for over a year. Dennis keeps trying to get me out, but I usually just come along and have a couple of beers and laugh at him. Sorry, watch him.
Oh, he's catching it.
Wow, go on, that's another 2 ounce.
He's catching it. 2 ounce fish. Yeah, but it's funny because when I first came over here 5 years ago, there weren't any match fishing at this hole. You know, it was just specimen fishing. And I met John Harvey, and I got talking to John, and his dad knew me, through fishing over on the Huntsville and that. So I said to John, any matches going? No, I said, well, can we start any? He said, well, I said, we'll try a head-to-head. So we started with a head-to-head, and then we went down Wilf's Fishery, remember Wilf's? Well, anyway, from there, a couple of other expats saw us fishing, and they joined in, and we had about 4 or 5, and then Dennis, funny enough, one day was there in the corner, and I said, do you want to join us? And he said, yeah, so he joined us. So, it was quite it's only a small group, but at least we got going.
Yeah.
And of course, the talk was about you, because they said, well, Billy lives here, he don't go fishing, let's go run his barn, let's try and get him to come again. And basically, as you say, Dennis was ready to start off again.
Taught me to death.
But, when I left 2 years ago, it was a reasonably, half-decent circuit with 10, 12 anglers. And, of course, the 2 years I've been away, it's sort of dwindled a little bit. It's only you, Dennis, and
Lee, Peter.
Yeah, Lee and Peter. but now...
John dropped out for a while as well.
Well, I got John back in. I mean, we've had good matches and so far. We've had 12 peggers, 13 peggers, 10 peggers, 8 peggers, and now...
A bit different to 500 peggers.
Oh, yeah,
We used to fish 40 years ago, innit?
Oh, yeah.
50 years ago.
Do you know, it's funny, you don't even get them anymore, though, in the UK. It's... most of the commercial matches are 20, 30 anglers. I fish the river circuit, and you do get 50, 60, 70 anglers sometimes. You know.
I could get motivated if we got those sort of numbers.
Yeah.
But you know, half a dozen of you sitting down, it don't really interest me.
I think the thing is, when you're retired, and do you really want to go through the stress of
not really.
like we used to, trying to win everything in sight? I mean, I know you still got a competitive edge, but so have I, and so is Dennis. So it's good fun, really, in a sense.
I don't know how you keep it going. Your enthusiasm's there every single day.
I do, I know.
I just can't get
So
motivated.
it's like today we come here today, and so many times we just couldn't fish properly, could we? So.
But Tony and I never even set up with just no interest.
Yeah.
Takes two fruitcakes like you and Dennis to go fishing.
Well, I said that thinking but look at that fish in my swim. There you go. No, I thought I'd try a few little things here and see if the fish is still here, but this venue's at it, I think.
I don't know, he only claims to put a lot of fish in.
Yeah.
That rain last night could possibly because there was a hell of a storm.
Yeah.
I got my mate Jeff out the bar last night.
Yeah.
Gone to the front, come and look at this. I said, how would you like to put a stick float down?
down the street.
That was a street. It was belting.
I know, it was,
absolutely beautiful stick float water.
Even our condo outside, it was like flooded. I thought, bloody hell. And the funny thing is, it disappears so quickly as well, doesn't it? This water.
A few months ago, when we had that really big storm, it lasted a few hours.
Yeah.
I went for a walk up on Second Road.
Yeah.
And all the ties were there scooping the fish off the road.
I know, I seen that. I see it on the video. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And down the Suckenvate, by the floating market, they were there with nets.
Really?
Netting them off the main road.
Well, there were many catfish, I think.
All up about the floating market lake.
Yeah.
You see how they get spread around the whole break, can't you?
Yeah.
You struggle here though, it's in like a little valley, a mini valley, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, maybe we'll come down in the week when it's quiet, because at the moment we got all those rods on there. It's like bloody sea fish, isn't it?
I don't think so. I can't get too interested.
In this one?
No.
You ain't getting me back here.
No, Dennis don't want to come back here, is it?
Well, Jenny's fishing his little lad's method for spikes.
Yeah.
Makes it worse. You and me trying to fish properly, and
I know.
he's just fishing little lad's method.
Yeah.
Waiting for you two to start fishing properly.
Well, it's nice to see you actually on the rod and reel trying to catch them this time instead of them.
I'm failing, of course.
I'm
failing, yeah. He's had that many batterings this last 2 years. He's given up with a reel.
That many batterings is you'd open a chip shop.
Yeah. Open the chip shop.
You need me to remind you of the match results.
Yeah, okay.
Little lad's method, not real fishing.
The thing is, we haven't had a proper match yet, have we? We haven't had a proper Wagler match, and it'll be different then, won't it?
Little lads matches at the moment.
Yeah.
Suits Dennis. There's more than 5 yards out, you can't see his float anyway.
That's probably right.
That's why I've got to fish inside like this.
Yeah.
Here we go now, you're going to see this guy cross Dennis's line and go 20 yards to his right.
Yeah.
Here you go. Wow.
Oh, he scattered his bait everywhere then.
Oh, God. What was that?
That's it. Feed the swim. Tell you what, there's some big fish moving over the far side though.
There's still a lot of big fish in them.
Yeah.
But they haven't netted it. This lake 12 months ago solid with fish.
Oh, it was solid, yeah. I know.
100, 200 pound fish. They've been netted and sold.
Yeah.
And I don't think the ties who are fishing it are aware of that.
No. Well, I mean, they're just fishing for food, isn't it? It's not like, they get fish for tilapias and...
It's a bloody bloodworm venue, this is. They'd have had 10 pounds.
If you fish a bloodworm, yeah.
I need to get back to the bar anyway.
All right, yeah.
I've got a moment.
No, I've had enough today.
Not quite necessary yet.
All right, well, we can have another drink if you want.